Hello and welcome everyone. This is Nitesh Mishra from Federation of Indian Export Organizations, popularly known as FIEO, India's apex trade promotion organization. And you are listening to the Voice of Exports, India's first exclusive podcast for EXIM community. On this podcast, we bring top performers from the sector who not only inspire but also reinvigorate among you to become one of them. Welcome to another episode of Voice of Exports, India's first audio podcast for exporting community started by FIEO. Today we have in our program Mr. Rahul Shah, who is the Deputy General Manager in HEM Corporation. HEM Corporation is a group of company which is into incense business. Welcome Mr. Shah to this program.
Thank you, Mr. Nitesh, and thank you, FIEO, for providing this opportunity.
Okay. To start with, first, tell us about your company, how it all started, and what are the products you are into.
Okay. HEM Corporation is India's leading manufacturer and exporter of incense sticks and home fragrance products with a presence in over 80 countries across the globe. We've been in business for more than 3 decades with 2 manufacturing units. One is in Bangalore and other one is in Mumbai. And HEM is committed to sharing India's rich tradition of aroma wellness through incense, home fragrance products and spiritual products to consumers across the globe.
Okay, when you talk about incense products, India has a special status or position across the globe. So how do you see the position of India in incense and fragrance products across the international market? How is it being liked by the consumers across the globe?
Yeah, that's a great question. Very few categories of consumer products across the globe have India as one of the leading players. Incense is one of them. In fact, in world incense exports, India has the largest share of incense. And we at HEM Corporation are the largest from India. So essentially become the largest exporter across the globe, where we have presence across all 6 continents except for Antarctica.
When you talk about incense product and its export, how do you see the prospects? And when you also talk about the challenges and the key issues which you have come across during your journey of exports or during your journey of business of HEM Corporation, how do you see it and how do you want to detail it or explain it?
Sure. So HEM Corporation actually started as a local incense manufacturing company where we used to supply products in domestic business. First, especially in puja and religious stores. But after 1991, once the license Raj ended during the Manmohan Singh being the finance minister, exports really boosted. And first, these products were taken by small merchant exporters from Delhi and Mumbai to different countries. And that's when we realized the potential of this product being exported or being liked by consumers across the globe. So our first export actually started in 1991. Post that, it's been growing and growing. We've never had a degrowth in this exports business. Not even in COVID, even though during COVID year there were two months of shutdown at our manufacturing unit. But since most of the people across the globe were at home, the usage of this product category actually increased. And this is one of the most natural room fresheners, air fresheners available to consumers across the globe. So outside India, incense is not only limited to puja and religious usage, but people across different communities, cultures in different countries have adopted this product in their daily use as one of the natural way of aroma wellness and room freshening in their houses.
When you talk about USP of HEM group of companies in terms of incense products and fragrance products. How do you detail it in terms of the USP of your organization?
Yeah. So back in those days, when there was no internet and no social media, our
Yes.
directors used to travel to these countries to find out the liking of fragrances and aroma in those countries. For
Okay.
example, in Venezuela, people like tangerine fragrance a lot. So we developed tangerine-based incense sticks. In those days, incense sticks in India would only be like chandan, gulab, or mogra. Nobody would think of developing a tangerine incense sticks or say apple incense sticks with fragrance of apple or tangerine. So we did that. We customized our solutions or our products for those countries. So from being a traditional incense manufacturer in India, we recognize the global fragrance likability, and hence we were able to successfully develop customers and distributors across different geographies of the world, be it North America, Latin America, Europe, Middle Eastern, Africa, Asia, and Japan. So all these different countries like different kind of fragrances. So we used to visit them and find out what kind of fragrances they like and then develop it in the form of incense.
When you talk about customization of the fragrances from different countries or different regions, how were you able to take over the challenges or maybe the competition which have come across from other countries in terms of fragrances which they have?
Correct. So in terms of fragrances, there are a lot of other countries which manufacture fragrances. France is one of the leading countries in manufacturing fragrances,
Yes.
followed by different other countries.
Yes.
But a unique sweet spot for us was that in incense manufacturing, India had a stronghold.
Okay.
So marrying this incense with fragrance innovation for incense was one of our USP, which helped us grow and be successful.
Okay.
Besides that, of course, when you are giving your products or supplying your products to international market, our consistent focus on quality and authenticity as well as consistency was appreciated across different countries, and that helped us to grow and emotionally connect to the consumers across different cultures.
Okay, when you talk about the logistical challenges or hiccups, which started from COVID times in the recent years, then the Russia-Ukraine war came, then this Gulf War came. Has it impacted your business or the sector as a whole?
Yes, it has. In fact, in last decade, there have been so many disruptions, as most of our export communities would have also noticed. There was Russia-Ukraine war, there is Gulf War, there was COVID, and all these impacted our supply chains, especially the logistic cost for exporting.
Okay.
But we work very closely with our distributors in these countries to preempt and plan for these disruptions. In
Okay.
today's world, all businesses have to be ready for any kind of disruptions which will come in, and they are coming more frequently than before.
Okay.
So we partnered with our distributors to forecast the stocks. In some cases, we also invested with them to build warehouses in their own country, wherein we had partly helped them to do so. So this helped us to avoid supply chain disruptions. But nonetheless, like Iran, if you want to especially discuss about it right now, we had almost 10 crores of business in Iran,
Okay.
and suddenly that got kind of halted due to this war.
Okay.
So then we had to mitigate those risk and then try to develop new markets
Okay.
wherein we were not available. So
Okay.
we explored African markets where we were less penetrated to grow our business. But thankfully, only yesterday, actually, my Iran customer called and he said, now we are ready to place the next order. So yeah, for all export community, one has to always look for different markets and not depend on one. This is one lesson which I would want to share with all the exporters is have your export basket uh, not dependent on any one economy.
Okay.
Let it be diversified.
Okay.
Even in olden days, one would say, oh, USA and Europe and Japan and stable. But in next 10 to 20 years, we
Okay.
don't know what these economies are going to evolve into. So always all exporters should diversify their export markets and not dependent on any one particular economy or country. So as we speak today, not a single country has more than 20% share in our export business.
Okay. So you talked about diversification of markets. Coming on to that, Government of India is having a lot of trade agreements, and in recent times, in last 2 3 years, 8 9 FTAs, trade agreements, and BTA with US is also in the offing. So how do you see these trade agreements going to go ahead for your sector as such?
Yeah, I should kind of credit the present Modi government and especially our commerce ministers and commerce industry people who have been so active to develop a lot of these trade agreements. We have
Okay.
seen that whenever there has been a trade agreement of products between two countries, our exports to those countries have increased primarily because the tariff on our product category has decreased in those countries, and it has helped to diversify and actually penetrate more in those countries.
Yes.
And incense is a very unique product. At
Okay.
this point of time, I would like to highlight that we pride ourselves as one of the industries which exports to China and in consumer brand.
Okay.
Most of the world imports from China, but
Okay.
we are one of that industry
Yes.
that we export to China and in final consumer product.
Yes. That's
So
that's a
our
great thing.
products, yeah, it's actually a great thing, and this should encourage other exporters in in products and commodities where India is superior in the world. One should start exporting in those countries and their own in our own brand as much as possible. This will really help not only our country's economy but also the image of India on a global stage.
Okay. So when you talk about this trade agreements, these trade agreements, in fact, uh, what more do you expect from the government side, of what more support do you expect from the government side to further give boost to your sector?
Yeah. So our industry has lot of small and medium manufacturing units.
Okay.
Unlike big industries like petroleum, like jewelry, wherein the access to government schemes and government policies is uh, uh, very connected in the sense that those industries really work with government a lot.
Okay.
Many a times, because lot of our manufacturers in our industry and small and medium scale, it is difficult for them to reach out to the government for support. But through your medium and through this podcast, I would really like to highlight that our industry, especially the incense and the fragrance manufacturing industry, is one such industry
Okay.
which can really help build a brand of India around yoga, spirituality, and aroma wellness.
Okay.
Like how you have chocolates for Switzerland and watches from Switzerland, or say engineering parts from Germany, like that. Incense from India can be brought to the global stage, and a very high premium quality stature can be brought about from India, for which we require government support through embassies, across the globe and through trade channels, wherein the government also helps in creating awareness of these products, and made in India products are of high quality in this particular category. If there are avenues like that, the government should invest, because I know that like government of Switzerland invests in marketing of any brand
Yes.
chocolate made from Switzerland.
Yes.
Similarly, the government of India can also invest in highlighting and advertising and marketing incense in general, be it from any brand, but made in India.
Okay. One question which I'd definitely like not to miss is, how were you introduced to FIEO and its services?
So FIEO has been a very supporting organization for it. I think before I joined business, we were already members of FIEO, and lot of deliberations. As an export-oriented company, we have been collaborating with FIEO. It also provided an important role for us for export guidance and networking opportunities time and again. And this organization helps as a bridge between the exporter community and policy makers. I would like to highlight one incident where in one of our Italian shipments, the incense sticks were held in Italian ports because of some technical regulations.
Okay.
So through FIEO, we submitted a lot of documentation to our Commerce Ministry, and that time our Commerce Minister were Mr. Suresh Prabhu.
Okay.
So he helped us to liaise with the government of Italy to remove these the so-called technical barriers to entry or regulation, and making imports in Italy very seamless.
Okay.
So I appreciate FIEO and all its activities, and lately I'm seeing FIEO being very active, organizing different types of online, offline courses. Recently, there was a course on AI for exports, so few members from my organization also participated in that.
Okay.
So yeah, I appreciate FIEO and all its activities to help the exporters ecosystem. FIEO is really helping a lot of entrepreneurs and medium-sized businesses like us for exporting.
One last question before I leave you is that what would be the key learnings which you have learned during your journey of exports or during your journey of business, which you would like to share with new and budding exporters? Maybe 3 of them you can enumerate and tell them to become a successful exporter.
Sure. So, first and foremost, I would say that where we, as in India, our international perception versus vis-a-vis China or vis-a-vis Vietnam and other Southeast Asian exporting countries is that our focus on quality and consistency is low. So I would really advise young entrepreneurs that please focus on quality and consistency, because global buyers really value those and they will pay premium if you do that. Second would be invest your time in understanding your target markets more deeply.
Okay.
Do not assume that Indian product from our domestic market would fit in well in export market, or export a product from one country will fit in well to another country. You understand your target markets deeply and try to innovate and bring in the value in your product for that particular market.
Okay.
And third is build long-term relationship rather than chasing short-term sales goals. I genuinely believe not indulging in price wars. If you are confident about your product, of your quality and consistency, buyers across the globe are ready to pay and build long-term relationship with them. And last but not the least is the world is moving towards digital economy. So it's
Yes.
very essential to embrace digital platforms and technology. Today, global business opportunities are available to even young startups, small and medium companies through e-commerce, digital marketing, and international marketplaces, which in olden days weren't. So there's a great opportunity, and we as an exporter should consider ourselves as economic soldiers of the country.
Yes.
We bring in the dollars to our country to pay our oil bills, and we should be proud of it, and we should be confident and
Yes.
be ready to take on the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shah, for being so candid and insightful in your approach while answering all my questions. And thank you once again for being part of this podcast journey.
Thank you.
Voice of Exports podcast by FIEO aims to provide important information and views on foreign trade, especially on exports, which will help both Indian exporters and importers. Any statements made by an exporter, importer, or an importing company in this podcast as guests reflect the views and opinions of that individual or the company. This podcast does not constitute an endorsement by the FIEO of the individual or the company, his or her or its employer or affiliated entity. The specific information or views provided, resources mentioned, or products or services endorsed or offered by that individual or the company, his or her or its employer or affiliated entity. FIEO assumes no responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or timelines of the information provided by the guest or the company in this podcast, or for the decisions made and reliance on any information provided by the guest or the company in this podcast. We thank you for listening to this episode of Voice of Exports podcast service brought to you by the FIEO. For more information on how you can start exporting, please visit our website www.fio.org.